Why no one cares about your brand yet. In the next 7 minutes, I'm going to take you through why no one cares about your brand and how you can make them care about your brand and how you can build a brand, make a reputation. So the first problem is that most brands try and fit in, or they try and make sense. And the first thing people try and do when they're solving a problem is to try and make a logical solve to it. So they use the rational part of their brain, and that's just not going to work. So if you look at the biggest brands in the world, they tend to be named in a way where they're not very rational. Obviously the big ones, Apple, they sell computers. Why would you call a computer company Apple? Nike, well, what does it mean? Greek goddess of victory. Those are names which don't really make sense and they're not natural to select. If you were creating a new brand, or if you've been through that process already and you're watching this and you're wondering why it's not sticking or growing, then it's probably because you chose something a bit more generic. The St. Giles Hotel, I'm sure it is a great hotel, but it's just named after the street that it's on. Another example of a brand, it could work on a really big scale because of the alliteration and because you've got kind of the two k sounds, which are really powerful phonetics. Coffee club, but actually it's quite generic and doesn't make me feel anything. It doesn't make me curious about it. I can tell exactly what it is. It's quite a logical name. Smith's Toys Superstores. It's a mouthful for a start. Why would a kid see that and want to go buy toys, or a parent see that and want to buy their kid toys? I have no idea. I don't want to name and shame again, but Smith's Toys Superstores. That's a terrible name. I mean, Toys R Us, that rolls off the tongue nicely, starts with a T, powerful phonetic. The brand obviously did really well back in its heyday, maybe mismanaged a bit financially, but that was a good brand. So a brand doesn't just start with a name. Obviously a brand is a lot more, but unless you make someone emotionally resonant with that brand, it's going to be very hard to push into the realms of making them feel, rather than making them just go, oh, that's a toy shop, I'm going to go there because I need a toy. People buy feelings and not features. So although those brand names are important, it's what sits underneath the brand that's even more important. When a parent's buying their kid a toy, for example, in the Toys R Us example, they want to look at their kid playing with the toy and they want to feel proud and happy that their kid's enjoying it. So when you buy clothes or trainers or whatever you're going to buy from Nike, you want to feel like it's going to help you win, or that you're going to be wearing it when you're winning, or at least you've got a winning mindset and that's going to help you win. And by buying it, you're going to be reminded constantly about your own winning mindset, and it's going to hold a mirror up to that side of yourself which you'd like to see. And then with Apple, they're selling taste. They have great computers, and that's just by the by. People just expect that. That's a logical decision. People will go, well, I could buy a computer from anywhere, but that one looks really nice. It feels really nice. It interacts with me really nice, and it's kind of intuitive. So Apple are selling taste, and you taste apples and they taste fresh and clean, and an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and it's just simple and healthy, and there's a lot of good connotations with the idea of an apple, and to steal the meaning of an apple and turn it into your brand, it's genius. So another thing that is really important when building a brand is to be specific. So generic messaging kills brands. When you wear Nike clothes, how fast are you going to run, and how's that going to make you feel? Showing clips of people finishing their runs looking satisfied and exhausted and covered in sweat, like a real kind of something that makes you feel. Again, always goes back to how it makes you feel. So premium quality, top quality products are great, right? Everybody has a top quality product, and premium quality is just a buzzword and doesn't really mean much. You can sell a less than premium quality product if it means something to somebody first. You can have two products side by side. One would be technically higher quality and maybe outlast the other one. But if the other one is underpinned by a brand that means something, and it won't last as long, but the story is honest and open about that, and then you buy into what that brand makes you feel, you're going to buy the other one. I think storytelling is one of the most powerful things a brand can do. My stepdad is a storyteller. I've been surrounded by storytelling most of my life, and I think it's one of the most amazing skills that anybody can learn. when you're telling a story as a brand, you need to bear in mind that people need to go through that same journey, that arc, in order to make them feel something. So another really good example is L'Oreal. L'Oreal is a great brand. Everyone here probably knows the phrase, because you're worth it, and everybody who hears because you're worth it probably knows it's L'Oreal. You want to find people that get ignored by the brands which are big and reaching out to like a wider audience. So one of the things that happens when you have a really big brand is you need to cater to the masses or the bulk of your audience. So that always means you're going to be leaving out a specific audience within that niche, and that's where the opportunity is to kind of land and expand your brand. Didn't mean to do that. So another really important thing when you're putting your video content out there and you're putting your images out there, is you need to hook. You need to grab people in the first 3 seconds. People don't have attention spans. I think I read a stat the other day that literally goldfish have a bigger attention span than humans now, which is crazy. I think it's incredibly important to hook in the first few seconds. Look at the title of this video, and then maintain focus, maintain good high quality communication all the way throughout. Another thing that brands do, and I'll wrap up with a couple of little points here about what not to do in order to kind of shortcut success. So try not to be too clever. I think being kind of emotionally intelligent is far more important than being witty. The best way to summarize that is make them care, then ask them to buy. Or make them care and then they naturally will probably want to buy, and you might not need to even ask them if you make them care enough. So there you go. There's my first video within this 7-minute series. I'm going to bring out some more. If you'd like and subscribe, I'd be very grateful. I'm going to try and grow this channel using all the techniques that I'm learning and studying along the way. So bear with me, because this is me building in public, but I'm super grateful that you've joined me all the way to the end, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.